everybody, welcome to the Wellness Garden Tool Shed. My name is Leah, and I'll be pulling 3 cards from the Enchanted Map deck today from Colette Baron Reed. And again, pick a card, pick a number 1 through 3, and that will be your emphasis on the message for today. And it's so weird, you know, I try to do all the SEO stuff so these videos can get out to people who want to see this kind of stuff. And the last video I posted, I didn't do anything. I don't even have a title. I didn't have a thumbnail, and it did better than any of them, which is not great because I don't have a huge following, or at least I don't see a lot of people that see the videos, but you just never know what's going on. So regardless of what the SEO isn't trying to do, whatever, let's just see what happens by putting this stuff out here. So yes, the world is crazy and people are scared, but I want to, encourage you not to live out of fear because nothing good comes from that. And we see that day and day. And so let's use this Enchanted Map deck to see how we can use our energy or what we need to do in order to not be scared and to do something that's more positive that helps our own personal lives. Okay, if you pick card number 1, make a choice. All right. Can we choose to come from a place of love and not fear? Can we choose to not respond to our outside sources and really look hard inside and to know what actually is right and what your true north is? That's what I would say. Make a choice of doing that. Okay. And let's see if you pick card number 2. That is Magic Stream. Okay. This has to do with your own inner magic. This is about manifesting that the stream never runs dry. And what we need to do is really look into the stream, the water that never runs dry, and know that there's abundance and we don't have to live in scarcity mentality, because scarcity mentality is what gets us into that negative thinking. But when you see there's an inflow of abundance, then you actually can know that you are able to create more abundance and happiness and peace and health in your life. Okay, so that is offering you hope in what choices to make. And if you chose number 3, goblins, we have our inner goblins. We need to make aware of what our past goblins are. Okay, we all have inner demons. We've all been triggered by a lot of things. This is no surprise that this is coming up right now, because people are very triggered, people are very scared, but they don't always know where it's coming from. People are very heightened with their emotions. So is it something that's from the past, or is it really happening right now? Because we're in a time of division. We're in a time that's motivated by fear. It's about control. So a lot of that stuff is kind of fear of the future. Some of this is being triggered from the past. But is that thing happening right now in this very moment? That is what we need to focus on, okay? The here and the now, and really be present. So that is what this card is. You got to deal with your inner goblins. What's bugging you? See what's triggering you. Where is it coming from? You know I have a ton of triggers when it comes to religion because of my upbringing. But is it happening to me right now? No. So again, we all have our little triggers that can frighten and trigger fear. And that is kind of what's going on right now in the world, at least in our country. So let's understand where they come from and if it's really true, and deal with those so that we can make them go away. Okay. So if we were to put all this reading together, we need to make a choice to deal with our goblins and then really understand what our power is, and that there is abundance everywhere when you see it. There, like quantum physics tells us that the observer can influence an outcome of things. And quantum physics also tells you that there are infinite outcomes, and each person can experience a different outcome to the same situation. So this actually gives you power, you know, where 2 things can be true at one time, or even more things can be true at one time. But what do you want your life and your beliefs to reflect back to you? Because again, looking in the stream, what does water do? It kind of reflects back to you what you see in there, right? And this is a magic stream that there's an infinite amount of water, infinite amount of things you can look into that stream and see when it comes to your own reflection. Are you going to see a happy self? Are you going to see a scared self? Are you going to see an empowered self? Are you going to see a victim self? There's a choice there. And unfortunately, you might be looking at your goblins. Okay. So when you have your goblins, let's look at those little demons we have inside and see if we can correct them. That is truly what's going to help us in these times of fear-based thinking. We see what it gets you. We see the law of attraction in full force. That's not magical thinking. That's not even woo-woo. These cards are not exactly woo-woo. These cards are picking up the energy that is the most out there with my energy and other people's energy around me, and that's what I can sense. That's how energy works. It's not really, necessarily me getting, this magical thinking. It's really like I am connecting with source. I'm connecting with that energy that we all can connect with, because there is energy that you can't see. And our souls have that energy that you can't see. And that energy might look different in certain decades or centuries or whatever, like our soul, when it dies, our physical body dies, but our soul doesn't die because it's energy. You can't kill energy. Energy it transforms. So that's that connecting with that energy. Maybe it's a dead one. Maybe it's somebody that's just transformed into something else. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I just know that we are more capable of things than we believe because of our old beliefs, our goblins, our ego that tells us we can't do things. And it tells us that we're smaller and that, you were born wrong and in sin and a bad person. I don't believe that. Just because you've had beliefs for a long time does not make it be true. I want you to be very clear, or I want to be clear in explaining that. Just because you believe something, a belief is something that you have thought about for a long time and then started to believe it to be true. Beliefs are not always true. They just aren't. But then we get these emotions that are attached to those beliefs, and that emotion and that energy exacerbates and magnetizes those thoughts and that energy. And that's what brings you that reflection in this magical stream. So a lot of people don't like to hear this because it puts the blame on them. I get it. But I just feel that it's so important, especially in these division times, to not live in fear, to understand your power, to try to come from a place of love energy, or even maybe it's not even love energy, because we've seen law of attraction work for people where they've gained lots of success. Say their law of attraction is monetary and they get tons of this stuff, but yet they're maybe not a good person, or what you think is not a good person. So, that's true. I mean, that's just law of attraction, because they believe that they deserve this, so they get it. Okay, but maybe they're missing in the happiness place. Maybe they're missing that they don't feel like they're loved from other people because they don't feel the love inside. Because everything starts from within. It starts from your beliefs and your emotions attached to it, because that is the fuel that will bring your manifestation to life even more so. And it is different from positive thinking, because you can think positive, but if you don't believe those thoughts, there's not going to be a whole lot of momentum behind it. We can practice to believe them. We can say them over and over and think them over and over and over till finally it sinks in, because we know what brainwashing does. You brainwash yourself in a positive way. But these are your choices, okay? Making a choice. How are you going to move forward from here? You're going to let those goblins control you, or are you going to see that magical stream of abundance of everlasting water that brings life to you? Water brings life, especially moving water. And that stream is coming from above, which I believe is the higher level of a vibration, which brings you more positive things. So again, that is my belief. That's to shut them goblins down. Okay. So anyway, that's what we have for you today. Again, I don't know. I thought I posted that last video, for, I thought it was private. Somehow it went public. It was private for a minute. Maybe I hit something. Is very possible. I'm at that age where I'm not exactly tech savvy. I'm learning a little bit more. I was trying to do the chat GPT. I'm also dyslexic. Okay. Let's just throw that out there. To do the SEO stuff, to do the thumbnails. I get all this stuff. But again, maybe the trends are changing and chat GPT has not caught up with it. I don't know. But I just know that I feel the need to share what I've learned, what's worked for me, so that it can help somebody else, because this knowledge is too great to kind of keep for myself. And right now, I think more than ever, we all need to find something and learn something so that we could do something better. Okay. So that is what I leave you with today. Please like and subscribe if you are into this kind of thing. Please share it. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you are struggling with anything in the comments. People like to help each other, and we don't tolerate the trolling. So we don't want no negative spewing about hate about anybody on any side, because that's just not helpful, and it just perpetuates more bleh. So anyway, with that, I leave you, and please take care of yourselves, and know there's more than one way to think about things, and you can change. That saying, an old dog can't change, or you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yes, you can. Neuroplasticity says we can. And that's science again. Your brain can actually change itself. So, and it can heal itself. So, let's try to live a better, healthier, friendlier life, okay? And let's all be successful. We can all be successful. It doesn't have to be them or us. It could be everyone. There's enough to go around. All right. Have a great day.